Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a close, empathetic, and honestly, an absolutely crucial look at a deeply isolating experience. I'm talking about holding on to a vision that literally no one else can see. Look, at some point in your life, you're going to have a dream or an idea that makes perfect sense in your head, but when you actually try to share it, it just completely falls flat. Your family won't get it, your closest friends will doubt it, and strangers, well, they'll flat out tell you it's impossible. It's a really lonely place to be. So today we're going to break down exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how you can navigate it. So what do you do when you're the only one who believes? To really wrap our heads around this, picture a metaphor for a second. Imagine you're standing completely alone on this small, dark island, and in your hand, you're holding up a tiny flickering torch. That torch, that's your dream. Now look way out across the water. On a distant, crowded shore stands everyone else, your family, your friends, the rest of society. And they're all just kind of looking back at you, shaking their heads. Because of the sheer distance between you and them, they can't see the light of your torch clearly. From where they're standing, your vision just looks small, fragile, and, well, foolish. This perfectly captures the exact dynamic of having a dream that hasn't materialized yet. All right, part one, the unseen dream. Now, you have to realize this isn't just a unique problem that only you are facing. It's a universal starting point for anyone, and I mean literally anyone who decides to step out of their comfort zone. Every great achievement in human history started out as an unseen dream. But because the world just isn't ready for your dream yet, you hear the same things on repeat. Risky, unrealistic, impossible. If you've ever stepped out on your own, you know exactly how heavy those words feel. In our source material, the people on that distant shore aren't even shown as individuals with unique perspectives. They're just this identical, gray crowd chanting the exact same phrases in unison. It's frustrating, right? Having your deepest passions met with this repetitive wall of negativity can totally make you second-guess yourself. Honestly, it can make you feel kind of crazy. But your experience of being doubted is completely valid. Let's move on to part two, where doubt comes from. Here is the absolute core truth about doubt, and this is a real game changer. Doubt is not a product of malice. It is a projection of the crowd's own fears and the limits of the dreams that they gave up on. That changes everything, right? Most doubt doesn't come from people actively trying to destroy you. It actually comes from their own fear. When they look at you standing out there on your island holding your torch, it reminds them of the torches they put out a long time ago. They're just projecting their own self-imposed limits onto you. The crowd isn't some intimidating, evil villain trying to ruin your life. They're just scared. Once you realize that, their negative opinions are completely defanged. The doubt is about them, not you. Which brings us to part three, the choice to build. Okay, so now you face the ultimate choice, because just understanding the crowd is only half the battle. On one hand, you have the comfort of fitting in, and wow, is it tempting. All you have to do is drop your torch, swim over to that safe, crowded shore, abandon your idea, and blend right in. Boom, you don't have to be lonely anymore. But, and this is a big but, fitting in means dimming the exact thing that made you different in the first place. It means turning gray, just like everyone else. On the other hand, you have standing out. This means choosing the hard path. It's embracing the sheer discomfort of isolation, staying on your island, and keeping your unique vision bright, even when nobody else gets it. It's the immediate safety of disappearing into the masses versus the lonely but entirely authentic reality of holding on to your spark. So, what do successful people actually do when they're faced with this choice? Well, they follow three pretty straightforward steps. Number one, they stop waiting for permission. Seriously, no one is going to row across the water and hand you a certificate of approval. Number two, they quietly keep building. Going back to our metaphor, the builder takes whatever scraps they have on that island and just starts constructing a small boat, piece by piece, right there in the dark. And number three, they use their belief as fuel. You don't need the crowd cheering you on. That internal torch, that's the only light and fuel you need to keep working. Successful people don't stand there arguing with the shore. They just start building. Now for part four, the unexpected twist. Belief that's acted on eventually becomes visible. I absolutely love this quote. You see, you've been grinding away in the dark, fueled entirely by your own belief.
But because you didn't just sit on the island feeling your belief, because you actually put in the work and built the boat, your small flickering torch suddenly turns into this massive lighthouse beam shining across the whole ocean. Relentless action fundamentally changes how people perceive you. While you were building, the crowd just thought you were being stubborn. But once the boat is finished and that light is shining across the water, what used to look like stubbornness is suddenly recognized as undeniable vision. But remember, the crowd only ever sees the vision after the results show up.
Let's put this into perspective with the ultimate long-term costs of these two paths. The gray crowd chose comfort. They stopped building, and because of that, they completely disappeared into the masses, just living within the boundaries they accepted. But the builder chose the extreme discomfort of being misunderstood. And because they weathered that storm, they actually finished their boat and sailed to a completely new shore. They reach a level of success, freedom, or fulfillment that the great crowd will literally never reach. And here is the ultimate irony of this whole shebang, the twist. The builder looks back at the island they left behind and realizes something absolutely wild. The very people who stood on the shore shaking their heads, calling the dream risky and impossible, they are now desperately trying to follow the exact path the builder just carved out. It never fails. The people who doubted you first are almost always the ones who show up later, asking how you did it. Once your belief becomes a visible reality, the fear that drove their initial doubt just vanishes, and it's replaced by this sudden desire to replicate your success. And finally, part 5. Proving it real. So we've gone from the painful isolation of a flickering torch to the undeniable power of a lighthouse. Now picture our builder, standing at the bow of their completed boat, leaving the doubters behind, and sailing calmly into a wide-open, brightly colored horizon. The work is done, the vision is real. So if there is one thing you take away from this explainer today, let it be this. A lack of belief from others is not a stop sign. It just means you are the only one who can see it, until you do the work to make it a reality. If you're in that lonely phase right now, feeling the heavy weight of the crowd's doubt, please do not drop your torch. Don't swim back to the shore just to fit in. Being the only believer isn't permanent. It's just a temporary phase of creation. You are the architect. The rest of the world will catch up, for sure, but only after you finish building the boat. So I want to leave you with a question to really reflect on today. What is a dream people doubted you on? Are you still holding the torch, or did you let the gray crowd convince you it was impossible? Because if you still have that spark, it is time to stop waiting for permission and start building your boat. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gave you the fuel you need. Keep your vision bright, and I'll see you next time.